Today we're talking about that 1%. Those fighters out there who are better than 99% of other combat sports athletes who will ever step in the ring, the cage, whatever options there are for competition. These guys are next level. What attributes do they have that push them to the very top, and how can you go about changing your training or your methods of living so that you can become a champion like them? So who are we talking about today? Which fighters are we looking at where you're gonna go, these are the 1%, the very best? Well, we have first people who start off, they're doing martial arts as kind of a hobby, and they go, you know what? I wanna try a fight. And they do one or two. And then they kind of go, this isn't for me. Maybe they don't love it enough, maybe they're too busy, but that's pretty much it. One or two fights. Obviously, these guys are not the 1%. Then we have people who go, I'm gonna try and give this a shot. They do 5, 10 fights, but somewhere along the way, they realize either I'm not good enough or this is way too hard. Obviously, we're not talking about those guys. Then we have people who decide, you know what? I'm gonna give this a real go. I'm gonna try and become the best amateur fighter that I possibly can. They push and push and push, but usually they don't go beyond that. Then we have the guys who start to enter into the pro ranks, early pro ranks. These guys are obviously skilled fighters, but they're not in that top 1%, not even close. And then we start to get people who either win titles in smaller organizations or enter the big organizations, Bellator, UFC, ONE. These guys are in these big promotions, but they're not able to crack into the top 1% because they don't get into that rank number 1 or 2 or champion status. The people who reach that top 1% are doing exceptional things, winning belts, going on crazy winning streaks, and this is very, very hard to do. And I want you to understand some of the things that I note in myself and in these other fighters, which might be helping them reach that amazing high level. So let's start off today and let's talk about the extra work which they will put in. This is something that I noted in myself about 18 years ago when I started my fight career. I would have a choice on Friday nights, Saturday nights very often, go and hang out with people or go to the gym. And I'd say at least half the time I opted to go to the gym and hit the bag. That's putting in that extra work. It's not just showing up for classes and doing the bare minimum. It's taking time out of your day to do something which you feel is really, hopefully your love, something that you just want to do as much as possible. And that might even mean you take 60 seconds out of your day occasionally to go, okay, when I was sparring last night, maybe I got caught with too many overhands, and you just stop and you just go, how am I gonna block that? You play around with the idea behind it. You're always thinking about improving and climbing higher. Putting in that extra work is something which I believe many of those 1%ers are gonna do. Their mind is always there. They're trying out things when they have the choice between fun or what many other people would consider fun and going to the gym. They opt to go to the gym and get in an extra session. Doing things like that is gonna help you reach that pinnacle in the sport where people look up and they go, whoa, that guy is so good. The next thing which I've noted in high level fighters, those 1%ers, is their accuracy. Think about when you go to a fight, when you have two guys who maybe even their debut. Two guys who are making their debut. They come out, they're just throwing big power shots, their chins are up, and at the end of the fight, you're going, whoa, nobody got KO'd. How did that happen? Well, the difference being they don't know how to find the target. These 1%ers, they're good at standing here, somebody makes a small move and they can still touch you. Your head goes over here, they can touch you. You're always at risk of getting knocked out because these guys can find the target. Now, if you're wanting to train this, obviously you can just be very focused in sparring about hitting certain things. What I like to do sometimes though, is if I'm hitting the bag, I like to wipe my glove against my sweaty forehead, touch the bag, and then there's just a little mark. And then I'll constantly aim for that. If I hit and the bag spins, then I'll go, okay, it's a hook. If the bag spins the other way, I'll time and I'll come with my big round kick. And I'm always trying to touch that tiny little mark. Helps me improve my accuracy. And like I said, this is something which you want to be really good at, because you don't want to throw 5 shots and have them all miss just to land one. You want to be like those elite dudes who, when they throw, they land. The next area where I notice these fighters are extra high level is their defense. You can have the best power, the best speed, all sorts of other physical attributes which make you very good at offense, but if your defense is mediocre, it's only a matter of time until somebody breaks through, they hit you, and you end up hitting the canvas. That defense is so important because when you start reaching people or opponents whose skill level is close to yours, there's always going to be that give and take, give and take. You're not going to be able to truck through people. You're going to have to defend yourself, and half the fight is defense. So I've talked about that on the channel many times. Make sure you guys push that and work it in the gym, even if it involves you putting in extra work like we already said. Class is done, you have to call somebody over and just say, oh, can you throw some punches at me, some kicks, so I can work solely on defense? That is what you need. The next area where I notice these 1%ers really stand out is their conditioning, their cardio. When was the last time you saw somebody who's crazy high level, a UFC champion, somebody who's in the top 2 rankings, lean over in the middle of the fight, gasping for breath, or go and sit down in between rounds and they're like, and they're not able to recover in the 60 seconds. These guys have cardio and conditioning so that they can go every minute, every second of the entire fight. Yeah, they might slow down, they might be breathing a little bit hard, but that conditioning is next level. And if you slack on it, it's very difficult to reach the very top. Now we've got 4 more points for today, but I do want you guys to keep in mind that with everything we're talking about, there are exceptions to the rule. You are gonna have some guys who will come in to the top 1% and maybe they don't have a couple things which I mentioned, but the majority of these 1%ers will have everything on the list which I mentioned today, and they're not gonna cut corners. They're gonna have everything dialed in, and that makes a world of difference. The next thing I want to talk about is their intelligence level. Now, what does that mean? They're really smart? They can do lots of really high level math? No. It means that if they come in against an opponent who's a really good boxer, instead of going, okay, I'm gonna be a really good boxer too and go against him, if it's MMA, they might go, this guy's weak on the takedowns. I'm better on the groundwork. I'm gonna shoot in, I'm gonna put him on his back. If it's kickboxing or Muay Thai, they might go, okay, I'm gonna fight at range or really tight where we can engage the clinch. These guys are looking for weaknesses in their opponent and looking for the easiest way to win the fight instead of the most exciting or most dangerous way. Intelligence goes a long way. You can try out this type of training when you're at the gym sparring. Try to defeat your sparring partners, not in the most difficult way possible, but in the easiest way possible. Not every time you spar. You don't need to do that every single time, because if you're one of the best guys in the gym, that's the easiest way to win rounds. Sometimes you want to challenge yourself and switch things up, but that mindset and trying it out sometimes is very important. The next thing which I want to talk to you about, and I believe this might be the most important point today, is perseverance. These fighters which we're talking about, they had to go through so many ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs to get to that very high level. And if you think for a moment it was easy, it was absolutely not. And there's so many people when they have their first 1 or 2 fights, they're gonna go, oh, now that's too hard. I'm not gonna continue to do that. Or you get somebody who has 5 or 10 fights. They really wanna be in the UFC, but they start to realize that there's so many downsides to pursuing this career, and at the first little sign of adversity, they go, yeah, no, it's not for me. These fighters who reach the 1%, their perseverance level is insane. They can truck through anything. They can hear people talk negative about them. They push through any barrier that comes. They are gonna go and go and go and not stop. And if you don't have this, I don't think you're gonna be able to make it to that 1%. So if you have to take anything from this episode, I would say dial in that perseverance, see your goal, and don't let anyone stop you. And because today we are talking about dialing in to that very highest level, the one percenters. I want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this episode, Bioptimizers, and their Magnesium Breakthrough. This is something which I believe has really helped me continue to keep my skill level very high, even though I'm aging as a fighter. A lot of people say, Gabriel, you're 38. How are you going to compete against these 20-year-olds? And I just go, you know what? When I was around 36, I started to feel my body just like, ooh, yeah, things are slowing up a little. And then, I'm not kidding you, 2 years ago, I started taking this. All my running times have been the highest they've ever been. I can go on and do my pad work and just go, go, go. Everything is feeling so dialed in. Obviously, I have to work crazy hard to make that happen, but this is helping me. It's helping me achieve better rest, improve sleep, and it's helping me recover faster. Both of those are making a world of difference. If you want to try out this product, which I cannot recommend highly enough, you can head over to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Gabriel. Use that promo code Gabriel10. And this is something for the tiny, small amount of money that you have to spend. I 100% suggest you give it a shot. I've had so many people on the channel throw comments down below saying, Gabriel, I started taking the Magnesium Breakthrough. It's making a world of difference, helping me sleep better, helping me recover faster. Same thing, same success, which I had with it. Give it a shot, guys. You have so little to lose and potentially so much to gain. Now let's move on to the next point, and we are talking about being tough. Because don't kid yourself. You could be the highest skill level person in terms of offense and speed and power, all that kind of stuff, but tough goes so far. I actually did an episode yesterday talking about my body conditioning, making sure I feel tough and I can take shots, absorb shots. Anybody who's in the top 1% is going to be so tough. And even somebody like, let's see, Amir Khan. Amir Khan, if you don't know him, fantastic boxer, won a silver medal at the Olympics, went on and had a stellar pro career, but had a few fights where he got knocked down or knocked out. Canelo knocked him out, and people started saying, oh, he has a glass jaw. This guy is so tough. Don't kid yourself. He has the 1% of the 1%. Guys like Canelo knocking him out, a couple other guys who landed some big shots on him, but this dude is so tough. You're not gonna make it to the high level. You're not gonna get your name known if you are not tough. You do not need to be Justin Gaethje tough, like that's a crazy next level tough, but if you don't have a fairly good jaw, and that can come from seeing shots really well. You see, you can roll with it. It can come from strong neck so that when you get hit, your head doesn't snap as much. It can come from doing lots of body conditioning, lots of leg conditioning, putting in hard sparring rounds. All of that is going to help, and it will make a massive difference in reaching that highest level, because nobody in that 1% of fighters is not tough. And the last thing which I want to focus on today is I truly believe everybody in that top 1% has a unique quality that sets them apart from other fighters. And let's say for somebody like Dominick Cruz, he was just so good at moving around, so hard to capture, so hard to land on. We have guys like George St. Pierre, GSP, who when he shot in on you, it was like there was dynamite behind him and he could just explode so fast, so powerful. Find what your strength is and really work on dialing in that. Take advantage, make it better and better and better. That's your standout quality, and it's gonna help you move up and up and up and achieve that status which we're talking about today, which is like the 1%. You're better than 99% of all other combat sports athletes. So let's call it there, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Something a little different today, but I like looking sometimes at other fighters, especially the fantastic ones like Adesanya, Canelo, people like that who are just doing amazing things, and saying, whoa, what do these guys have? What attributes do they have which everybody else can really try and dial in to help them achieve that status of greatness? If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please give it a like. If you have not already, join the channel, get subscribed. As always, guys, train hard. I'll see you back here soon for another video.